Welcome to the CVMSDC Virtual Capabilities Briefing, where MBEs introduce their products or services to potential customers. To register for a Virtual Capabilities Briefing, or VCB, you can email info@cvmsdc.org or visit the website at cvmsdc.org. And now, here's your host, Dominique Milton.
Thank you so much, VK, and welcome, Kamika Credle. Kamika is CEO of Credle Consulting, LLC. Welcome to the VCB briefing.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
So just a brief bit about Kamika before I turn it over to her. She is Executive Director with the John Maxwell team, the largest global leadership and training organization in the world. She currently works with Fortune 500 businesses, nonprofit organizations, government departments, school districts, and small businesses. She is a diversity, equity, and inclusion leader, educational consultant, and executive coach. With over 18 years of experience working with Fortune 500 companies in organizational leadership and sales. One of her strongest skill sets is producing exponential growth through consultative sales in the healthcare industry. A process skilled through effective collaboration, innovative marketing, and a vast knowledge of products and services. She partners with organizations to grow exemplary leaders to create a culture that reflects their values, increases employee engagement and morale while improving productivity, performance, and profitability. She is the host of a podcast titled Impact On, inspiring and influential conversations with educators, leaders, and entrepreneurs. I'm looking forward to watching your podcast. She is also a co-host of Beyond Impact on DEI, a podcast intersecting DEI, leadership, education, and business. Without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Kamika. I'm going to come off camera and I will come back on when it's time for Q&A. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. And thank you again. And for our virtual capability briefing, Credle Consulting. And I'll start off with a brief testimonial.
Hey, this is Chris Rollins. Allow me to speak with you for a moment about Kamika Credle. Kamika is a certified consultant in association with Personality Insights who uses the DISC model of human behavior to help her clients in many different areas. I can recommend Kamika with complete confidence. As a master trainer who personally took her through her training, I know a lot about assessments. There's one thing I know very clearly. The power of any assessment isn't in the written report itself. It's in the trained eye that knows how to take the information provided and then help someone develop clear, actionable steps from it, following a proven scientific process. As a human behavior consultant, Kamika can do far more than simply offer you assessments. Sure, it's part of the process, but it's only the first step. When you work with her, she can help you utilize the assessments and offer in-depth training to help you understand yourself better and to learn how to interact with other people better, whether that's a group of people on your team or your customers. She can help you improve interdepartmental communications, build your leadership teams, improve customer service, and she can help your sales teams learn how to dramatically improve their sales conversion results. How's that for making work fun again? If you're looking for someone to help take your team's results in these areas to the next level, I highly recommend you contact Kamika Credle. I'd be glad you did.
So who am I? Again, my name is Kamika Credle. I'm the CEO and president of Credle Consulting. I'm an educational consultant, a DEI trainer and executive coach. Again, I'm certified John Maxwell Team Executive Director and a human behavioral consultant and trainer with DISC and a SHRM recertification provider. So our why, we exist to help organizations grow exemplary leaders to create a culture that reflects their values, vision, and mission, to help increase their employee engagement and morale, and to improve productivity, profitability, and performance. And next is our how. We utilize engaging informative and interactive training to create transformation and facilitate thought-provoking conversations, to gain greater self-awareness, enhance communication and leadership skills with specialized assessments and guided curriculum to help improve personal and professional outcomes. And our what is we utilize the John Maxwell team leadership principles to coach, train, and teach individuals to become more effective and efficient leaders. We help organizations to better understand, connect, equip, influence growth and leadership development through practical application to implement and execute in the organization. So who do we serve? We serve the government sector, healthcare, higher education, K through 12 education, nonprofits, and small businesses. And here you can see a list of our clients and current partners. I am located in Virginia in the Hampton Roads area, so you can see some of the higher education is Hampton University, Norfolk State, definitely Huntington Ingalls here, and some of the healthcare industry is Humana and Anthem. And then you'll see some of the community colleges and some of the government sectors as well. So does your organization struggle with difficulty blending personalities into a cohesive and unified team, poor communication, collaboration, and feedback? Or you're thinking a decrease in employee engagement and morale, or also more so a lack of a clear sense of direction to bring alignment to help transform, adapt, and shape the future of the organization? You may be starting to see a lack of trust and accountability systems and structures across the organization, or we're in this virtual environment. You may start to see some of your employees' lack of awareness, feeling disengaged, feel marginalized, a loss of focus or commitment. Or you may need some aspects in resolving conflicts and disagreements between leaders and teams. And what we're starting to see now with the culture and climate is the lack of organizational culture competencies and diverse teams more so feeling that they're not empowered, accepted, valued, or heard. And so if your organization is struggling with any of those, Credle Consulting can create solutions to those particular problems. And this here is a training that I provided with the local police department. And this is one of the testimonials where they stated this style of training was perhaps the best training I have ever been to. I would suggest and recommend this to anyone in a leadership role. And here are some of our certifications. Again, we're SHRM recertification provider. Here in the state of Virginia, we are certified SWAM, which is a small women and minority owned business. We're certified as NMSDC, and then also our certifications with the John Maxwell team. And then this is just to reiterate more of our offerings. And lastly is our contact information. You'll see my name, our website, our email address, and then our LinkedIn information. We would love to connect with you.
Excellent job, Kamika. Can you read your phone number out and your email address out loud? Because some people are just listening in.
Yes, it's going to be area code 434-426-3176. And our website is kamikacredle.com, and our email is Kamika, spelled CAMICA, at Kamika Credle, CAMICACREDLE.com.
Excellent job. Thank you so much. And so talk to us about how you pivoted in 2020.
Great question. In reference to pivoting during 2020, most of my training that I did offer was a hybrid model. So going to a virtual environment, I just had to change some of the programming. And what I had to do was definitely remain flexible and adaptable and open to this change that we did see last year and currently seeing now. And so I had to really pause and reflect on how could I meet the needs and fill the gaps of my current clients, and just more so to assist them where they are to where they want to be. And so I think more so it is just, since I was already hybrid to going more so a virtual, it's just adapting to that change.
Good, very good. And I'm sure you're seeing a lot of different needs coming about because everybody's been locked in with COVID, right? So you're seeing a lot of human resource changing needs that are occurring. Talk to the audience about, because our clients really need to understand the scope and span of your ability. So how large of a group can you accommodate? And who is your ideal client? That's two different questions. So
okay,
take
no
it away.
problem. So yes, I do have a staff and partnerships with other MBEs to accommodate any organization, the size and scope of their particular project. And then also more so our ideal client right now will be someone who is currently right now struggling with the lack of organizational culture competencies. And what we're seeing right now with this culture climate where they may not be feeling heard, valued, or respected. And so right now, our ideal corporate client is partnering with the local Chamber of Commerce's and some of the independent private schools.
Excellent, excellent. And so if somebody wanted to have a diversity training, I'll pick on that one because that falls very much in line with what we have. Talk to me about how you would structure that. Would you have a pre-session with the individual who's calling you, and how would you set it all up?
Yes, great question. So definitely, I always advise clients the first step in any of our training, especially with DEI, is to go to our website and research Credle Consulting to make sure that we are, one, a good fit and that our mission and our vision aligns with the actual organization. And within that discovery session, that's where I would ask in an environment where I can inspect and identify what those needs and gaps are. And what we're seeing from that diversity perspective, a lot of organizations just checking the box or watching a video, but with DEI training and that cultural awareness, we need to have these brave and courageous conversations in an atmosphere where we won't feel like it's in a sense that we're being judged. And I think that when we have these brave conversations and we know that what happens in these four walls stays in these four walls, but it's more so we can say one thing, but we have to do. And that's taking the action personally and professionally and seeing beyond outside the professional aspect. And what I'm starting to see and hear in organizations is that they're not equipped to handle societal issues that we saw, and then they're bringing into the organization. But we both know that they are organizational issues that we're seeing in the society, but we're not speaking on those.
That's right. Very good. Very good. So loaded question here. So there's tons and tons of trainers out there, right? What sets you apart? What is that one thing that if I am a client, I say, I need to call Kamika for this because she is the best at it. And I know that John Maxwell training, it's on my to-do list, right? So I know that's one thing that sets you apart, but tell me, what is that one thing that just really sets you apart from everybody else?
I would say the one thing that sets me apart is more so as my training and background. Yes, I am a John Maxwell team certified coach, speaker, and trainer, but I'm an executive director. So that's out of the 36,000 coaches, I am one of 800 that can provide other trainings more extensive and a deeper dive. And more so, I'm looking and seeing that there's a decrease in employee engagement and morale. And what I do is come in with a listening ear to fact find exactly what the organization is dealing with so we can create those solutions to those problems.
Excellent. Excellent. My favorite quote, and I live by this, is that you have to stretch your comfort muscle every single day to grow. What's yours?
With me, I know that as a leader, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And what type of influence as a leader are we projecting? It's going to be positive or negative. I know as a leader at CBMSDC, you had to see how to lead through this crisis. And I think right now it's having that resilience and having that influence.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, let's see if we have some questions coming in from the field. VK, do we have any questions that either came in earlier or currently just came in?
We do, and I'd like to remind the audience that if you would like to submit a question to Ms. Credle, that you can use the Q&A feature on your Zoom dashboard, and we will present that question to her. The question is, what's the first step businesses should take to seek out the type of training your company provides?
Great question. And like I stated before, it's more so we want to make sure that we align with visions and the mission of an organization. And then also what we see as the first step is that needs analysis to ask and engage exactly what's going on in the organization. And what I start to see in that discovery session is 3 areas. They may have issues with their people, their products, and their processes. And what I'm starting to see more is the fact finding and taking a deeper dive into the processes and their people. Because as an organization, you want to increase your performance and your overall profitability, because we're here as a return of investment. So the first step is make sure that we align with our vision and our mission, and then also to do that fact find discovery session to see where those needs and gaps are, and to move forward from there as objectives, and then a training for the scope of what the organization needs.
So before we go on to the next question, VK, let's unpack that a little bit. You said it's a return on your investment. So our listeners need to understand that a little bit more, because they're making that investment in the training, right? So talk to us about the return that some of your customers have seen. And I know it's hard to measure, right?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely have a story I showed earlier, which was with the local police department here where I live. So the manager of that police department contacted me to provide a strategic leadership and communication solution. And he was looking at more objectives than how to increase their leadership ability and strengthen their skills. He wanted to more so challenge their critical thinking in the intrapersonal, and organizational level. And he wanted to look to see the professionalism and the awareness of their communication across the department. So we started off with their support services division, which was more so for their SWAT team, their investigative unit, and their community services unit. So all the employees who attended the training saw immediate results. And the major had to more so equip me prior to this training, because I was going into a different culture, first being an African-American woman and a civilian. So they were going to look at me to say, who is this coming in here to train us on leadership that has 20 and 30 years of experience? So I had to more so meet them where they were at, and they started to see a greater awareness in their own leadership ability. They started to really sit there and reflect on their own personal leadership and recognize where the need was for them to make an immediate impact and influence on their own officers. And so while we were there, the feedback went all the way to the chief of police. And so he came down to the training and he said, Kamika, we need to utilize yourself and your organization to train the entire department. And so that led to the training of their resource officers in all of their high schools and middle schools, their operations division, which in turn their traffic unit, and then their patrol unit, and then their admin division. So we still have an ongoing relationship to meet those matrix with leadership and communication. And it really turned into, it was one picture with Sergeant Campbell. He went through that training, and within less than a year, he was promoted to lieutenant. And so I saw him about a couple months ago, and he always reinforces that leadership training, because he said it helped him to recognize, like you said, where his comfort zone was and where those strength areas to stretch in his leadership abilities.
Excellent. Think about that niche there. Yes. Think about going to all the police departments across the country with the impact that you can make.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's a clue. There's a clue right there. That's powerful. Thanks. All right. VK, any other questions?
Yes, we do have a couple more that have come in. The first one is, Ms. Credle, what clients and industries do you want to work with? And can you kind of describe your ideal client?
Well, my ideal client right now, again, would be some of the independent private schools. And what we're seeing is in that DEI cultural awareness for students, because I have been the only African-American student in the classroom. So what does that look and feel like to really speak to those cultural awarenesses for other students to understand where some of those limitations or gaps may be. Also, I'm looking to partner with local Chamber of Commerce. I know here locally, I have a partnership with one of the chambers here in Hampton Roads, but looking more so to expand my reach in other Chamber of Commerce's to initiate in the business community programming for DEI, because I'm noticing a lot of small businesses and nonprofits don't have this particular program or training in place, and help to fill that gap for them.
Excellent. Well, I'll be sure to connect you with all of our chambers, as well as we have a new school system, Crystal Ray, and I'm going to connect you with them as well.
Thank you.
Very good. BK?
The next question is, I saw the logos on the slide earlier. Can you remind us who some of your current clients are?
Yes, so some of our current clients is our local police departments here. We work with some of the higher education, such as Norfolk State University, Hampton University, our local school districts. You have Newport News Public Schools, Hampton Public Schools, and then we stretched out to Richmond Public Schools as well. Definitely in the healthcare arena. Centera is a large hospital system here in the Hampton Roads area. And then also two of the major carriers for health insurance would be Humana and Anthem.
Excellent.
Thank you. The next question, how do you assess the outcomes and performance of the training or programs that you offer?
Great question. So what we do is more so pre and post assessments. We provide quizzes and one-on-one discussions with and also employee surveys. So more so, like we said, we want to understand the gaps that are in the organization and what are they struggling with. And so three main questions we usually try to ask is, one is, how effective was the training in helping the employees to gain their relevant knowledge and their skills? Also, we want to look and see how they applied the information that they learned and how they executed it in the organization. And then also, it may be some other benefits that we may not have solved throughout the training that may have came up to see what it is they want to achieve. So more so with the pre and post assessments. And then also we want to make sure that we're reinforcing either monthly or quarterly what we actually train them on, to make sure, like we said, is how are we measuring those particular outcomes, and those are what we utilize.
Thank you. And Dominique and Kamika, we have one final question, and that is to you. Can you accommodate a large organization with your trainings and programs?
Absolutely. I really feel that this is a season for collaboration and partnership. And so I have partnered with several MBEs for any scope or project for any organization.
That is the key, to be able to expand and contract when you need to. Thank you so much, VK, for the questions coming in. My final question that I love to ask is, as a corporation, when should I call Kamika Credle?
You should call me if your organization is struggling with any decrease in employee engagement or morale, which is affecting their communication and their collaboration.
Outstanding. Love the presentation. I love the videos. And we'll put up in the slide the contact information that you gave earlier. Your phone number one more time.
It's going to be area code 434-426-3176.
Outstanding. And for our listeners, if you are a certified MBE with cvmsdc.org and you're interested in having a VCB, please, by all means, reach out to us at info@cvmsdc.org, and we'll be happy to schedule a session with you. Also, please mark your calendars for April the 13th. That is our annual meeting. MBEs are invited to attend this event for free. Corporations, you can attend April 13th and 14th. April 14th is our pro forum for corporations only. Registration is open today. I encourage you to bring an MBE to introduce them to CVMSDC, and please register today. Thank you so much. That is a wrap, Kamika.
Thank you again.